So can y'all just tell me how this festival got started exactly?
Well, the visionary behind this is Chesley Himesfield, who you know and you interviewed.
Spoke with her yesterday.
She, sure probably told you some of that, but she had a vision. I just happen to know Chesley parenthetically from production stuff in LA and stuff like that. She had a vision, which was recognizing that there, all the great background of storytelling in Louisiana, but the film incentive program is bringing all these, filmmakers here. And she had a vision that there was a missing table leg, which was to have a film festival and a mentorship program. I got in touch with Dan because Dan is one of the most brilliant people of understanding how to put together a film festival and, with a real array of great films.
And when I came to Baton Rouge, I looked at the place and I thought, this is a great place to start a film festival. You've got LSU, you've got all these people that are interested, and there's so much film production happening.
You come down here, I can walk the streets in New Orleans and I bump into people, not people, there's that too, but people who I've met before, no matter what they do, people I've met before, and you run into them and they go, hey, and they say, gee, this is going on tonight. And you end up doing something you wouldn't have done. Yeah. This happens all the time, both here and there. It's a community, okay? It's the real deal. It's the real Louisiana deal. Anyhow, so to the movies we go. What I would suggest to everybody is go on the website, look at some of the descriptions, and go, oh, that one looks kind of interesting. Look at the trailer. And you go, okay, not really. I don't think I like it. Look at the next one. That's for me. Tough homework. You got to look at a couple trailers. But we're also laying out a buffet. And when you go to a buffet, some folks like the shrimp and some folks don't like the shrimp, We weren't going for, national premieres as much. We have a couple, but this time it's just having great films for the kind of films they are for different audiences, different strokes for different folks. So across the board, every one of these films is really good. So the question is, if you can match up your tastes and values, somebody may like The East, or somebody may like Eddie Price, or somebody may like this wonderful film that Dan's going to tell you about that's actually going to be here on campus, which we're doing Room 237 with. Tell them about 237 and The Shining.
Room 237 is like a wild exploration of a filmmaker of the meaning behind Stanley Kubrick's The Shining and the theories behind it. And it's
Yes, I love The Shining.
Yeah, and 237 is so wildly entertaining because every single theory that they have kind of makes sense. And Kubrick is mad enough that he would have absolutely done that. And it's a documentary, but it's done.
And it's a little weird.
Oh, it's very weird.
It's not like a comprehensive course on The Shining, interviewing the editors. It's about the weird stuff in The Shining.
No, it's really weird. It's great. Anyway. Other films to talk about, 20 Feet from Stardom. It's our opening film. It is one of the most fascinating documentaries about people with talent. And like in New Orleans, there's so many people that have had their start in music that way that were amazing, that, never quite got out to the front, but they were right there all the way through. Anybody that likes French films, we have 7 films from France and French-speaking Canada. We have a lot of visiting filmmakers. Bernard Rose, who was the director of Candyman and Immortal Beloved, from Japan, from up on Poppy Hill. I'm not sure if any of you are into Japanese anime, but this is really, it's by Mizuyuki, who did Spirited Away.
Toru and
exactly.
Spirited Away.
And this is, from up on Poppy Hill, is beautiful. I mean, it's so good, and I'm so glad that we were able to get it. The film that Jeff produced, Fern Gully, The Last Rainforest, is for our Earth Day program. We really tried to incorporate a lot of Louisiana filmmakers and films that were shot here, like The East, our closing night film with Britt Marling and Alexander Skarsgård.
And Ellen Page?
And Ellen Page.
You haven't
was
seen
shot.
it?
No, I haven't. It was shot in Shreveport, and as well as The Iceman with Michael Shannon, Chris Evans and James Franco.
Let me say
Do you want to
something
talk about the East?
Yeah, the setup for that movie is basically a bunch of people, and this is kind of relates to Louisiana, are very frustrated with people that are hurting the environment, big companies and other things. And they do things to bring them to light and shine a light on them. I come from an academic background. Okay, my father was the head of the department at Cornell. My stepfather was at Harvard. Einstein said my stepfather was the most important intellectual of the 20th century, by the way. In Einstein's mind, my stepfather was the reason we have freedom of speech in university, because he taught at Harvard, but in the summer he taught at University of New Hampshire. This is in the McCarthy era, and they wouldn't let him teach certain stuff. And so he took it to the Supreme Court, and any law student will tell you Sweezy versus New Hampshire is the reason there's academic freedom on all universities, but in general, it broke the McCarthy era, okay? What I'm trying to tell you, so I, through osmosis alone, have been around a lot of universities, okay? And I speak doing Lebowski stuff and activist stuff, and that's what we used to do. Here's a real strong statement. Every single department on this university has a master class that people, the professors should be going to, the TAs, and the students of whatever their thing is. If it's legal, they should go see West Memphis. Okay, if it's this, if it's literature, there's three things that are literature. If it's painting, if it's visual arts, the Renoir film. I mean, you can connect the dots.
What are you seeing, Joe?
Well, I'm seeing Hannah Arendt. Hannah Arendt is the intellectual who wrote the very, very famous book called On Totalitarianism, which is, in other words, how does a guy who was a nice little guy like Eichmann, you know, a nice little boy, or Hitler, how do they end up becoming Hitler? And it's the, as anybody will tell you, is the big intellectual work on, you know, how people end up, you know, whether it's in Stalinist stuff, whether it's Nazi stuff, whatever it is, how that transition happened to just nice kids. How did that whole thing happen, sociologically, personally, psychologically? I mean, anybody in history department, psych department, sociology, or poli-sci must see a wonderful movie, okay? In other words, you sit and listen to your professors. This is the supplemental thing. That's easy. It's 110 minutes long. You come see it. But I'm telling you, across the board, every professor should look at this schedule. Every TA go, wow, that's something that would help me with my class, and it's easy and fun. People here, 90% of them have never been to a film festival, so they think, film festival. They should see why, they're going to have an opportunity to see why people travel far and wide to go to Sundance. It's not easy to get to, or Telluride, or Toronto. Hey, it's right over here at Perkins Row. It's right here on the campus. It's right here at Manship. And it's right here at the state capitol. You don't have to go to Toronto or Cannes. It's the same, and the same guys that program for Sundance and Toronto Cannes are the people that are doing this.
By the way, we tried to get the theater for a couple more days. It was just impossible. Really? We were really trying to do a lot of it here. Yeah, no, I really think that a lot of our audience is going to be LSU.
Yeah.
I mean, and let's face it, I mean, this is the generation that's coming into filmmaking.